Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel. As you can see, I'm wearing a mask. The reason for that is I wanted to do this video, but I didn't want to put my dentures in. I'm feeling too lazy about it. Mainly because I don't even like my dentures. They're uncomfortable. I don't like wearing them. I do wear them when I'm going out in public because I guess I'm vain about my appearance. But I wanted to do this video and I didn't want to have to wear my dentures, so I'm putting this mask on. Now this is a mask that I got from Temu quite some time ago to wear because I thought it was cute and funny. See, it has teeth, so I'm going to wear it. And the things that I want to talk to you about, I have here some things about me that I've titled Weird Things You Didn't Know About Me Until Now. So I'm going to tell you about them now. I could have probably waited till I felt like putting my dentures in and did this video, but I feel like I haven't done a video in a few days and I really wanted to get one out there, get one up. So that's why I'm doing this. The first thing I want to tell you about is when I was born, I had something wrong with me. And the doctors didn't really know what it was. I don't know if my parents took me home and then brought me back to the hospital. But I think it had something to do with me eating and not gaining what they call failure to thrive. Or maybe I was just not even eating at all. Or eating and throwing up. But regardless of that, when they took me back to the hospital, the doctors put, now this is just what I've heard the adults in my life talking about. Of course, I was there, but I wouldn't remember this. My mask is going up. They had needles and wires all in my head, tubes up my nose, my mouth, in my ears, attachments on my body, like they do when they put heart monitors, probably needles in my veins. Maybe they were trying to feed me intravenously or monitor my brain activity to see what was going on. But I've heard my parents say, that they had wires and needles attached all over me. Well, my Aunt Betty, who at that time had been a nurse for a little while in her life, she came to the hospital, I guess, to see me or maybe to give her input on what she thought it was. And she told my parents, there's nothing wrong with that baby, except she just needs you to change her formula. Now, why the doctors couldn't figure this out, I don't know. But she told them, take those needles and wires off that baby and just change her formula, she'll be fine. And I guess that's what my parents did because here I am. Now, that's just a story that was going around, I heard when I was a younger person, different times. And if my mom was alive now, I think I would ask her about it again. Of course, at this time in her life, she probably wouldn't remember it still. I do. I remember them talking about it. I think the person that I remember talking about the most was my Aunt Betty. Because she put her input in with, there's nothing wrong with that baby. You just need to change her formula. Maybe I had bad diarrhea all the time or something. I don't know. But that's the story. And I sometimes sit around and wonder if maybe that had something to do with why I'm like I am now. Because of the being in the doctor and having all that happen. And another thing, as a child, I used to love to find empty or abandoned houses. And if there was a door open where I could get in there, I would go in. Now, I know that's very dangerous, and they have signs up now and they block them off. where you can't get in. Back when I was growing up, though, that wasn't a thing. If somebody moved out of a house or a house was abandoned because it was in bad shape, it was just sitting there. And I used to go in there and hope that I could find things, stuff that I could use, toys mostly, because I was a kid. Um, so I would go through the kitchen and the living room and the bedrooms looking for things. So sometimes I did find stuff, like I would find clothing, and I think I found a few toys one time. But mostly I went in there and it was stuff that people abandoned that wasn't worth having. Um, the neighbors never stopped me. Nobody ever come around and told me, get out of there. Sometimes I would take my brothers and sisters with me, and we would go in there together. And I do remember that, and probably even today, I used to go to sleep at night. I would have dreams about these abandoned houses that I would go inside of, and I would find really neat things that I liked. Stuff that was like brand new and good shape. And that was a possibility. So, I mean, I'm still intrigued today when I drive by an old house, to me, that looks like it's still in good shape and could be lived in. And there's signs up there that say condemned, do not enter, and stuff like that. And I'm thinking, well, why are they throwing away a perfectly good house? Or when I see those big machines with the buckets on them tearing down what I consider to be a perfectly good house, when there's people out there right now needing places to live, homes that are homeless, that could live in these places, and they're tearing them down. Now, structurally, there's probably something going on with them that I can't see, because I'm not a carpenter, I don't know. They may have electrical damage or plumbing damage that's beyond repair. But I still feel like I see a lot of houses that are still usable and in good shape that they're destroying and tearing down. Okay, let's see what else I got on my list here. Oh yeah, when I watch movies, I like to turn the commentaries on and listen to the people that are in the movie or the people who wrote the script or directed it talk about it. Because I learned so much about the movie. First, I'll watch it regular. Then I go back and I'll turn the commentaries on and listen to it. Because they talk about stuff that happened while they were making the movie. Like they'll say, in this particular scene, we had to put 4 feet of concrete under that wall over there to make it look like that. You learn stuff. Then you could go back and watch it and look at it, and you realize that you know how they made that. I just find it interesting to hear the actors talk about how hard it was to do that scene, how many takes they had to do to go back over it to make it actually turn out to look the way it did. And they talk about if they used a stunt double, to do the stunts, or if they did their own stunts. I just think it's really interesting if you watch a movie and you turn the commentaries on, that you can find out stuff about it. Now, this is something I think I may have already talked about in some of my other videos, but I really like to watch true crime documentaries. I've always been interested in science in school and biology and the study of mind and how people think and do the things they do. And I enjoy watching these crime documentaries because it's interesting how they go in and they'll find little pieces of evidence that you wouldn't even think made any difference, that that was unnecessary, and they can use those to put together with other things to figure out who did it. Now I know if they go in and they find hair, they take hair, and they take blood splatters, the way the blood splatters on the wall, they can tell, how hard the person was hit and how many times the person was hit and stuff like that. But there's a lot of stuff that in true crime documentaries that they'll talk about that to me are interesting because I would have never thought about even considering that as a piece of evidence. And I also like to read true crime novels. Now, I think that several years back, the government or whoever it is that monitors these kind of things put a stop to publishing and printing true crime novels because I don't think I've seen them in the stores except used bookstores because I used to buy a lot of them brand new, and I still have a bunch of them over there that I haven't read that I'm wanting to read. And because when you read the story about it, there's a lot more detail in it than you would get by watching the news. Or maybe even a lot more detail in the novel than you would get by watching the true crime. One of my favorite ones that I've watched, and I think there's a movie about it, I'm sure there is, was called Small Sacrifices. And the movie stars Farrah Fawcett. She's the main character. I also had the book. And it's a woman who had 3 children and a boyfriend who didn't want children. And she wanted to marry him. And of course, she doesn't say this, but the lady that wrote the book says that the reason she took her children out on a gravel road in the middle of the night and shot them was to try to kill them so that she could be with this boyfriend. And she figured if she got rid of those kids, they were replaceable. She could get with this guy, marry him, and then talk him into having children. Of course, it didn't work out that way. One of her children died, but the other 2 lived. But the book is very interesting because it goes into detail and explains to you what she was thinking, stuff that happened, around the time before how she kind of set it up before she actually went out and did it. So this is going to be my video for today. I apologize if this mask makes you uncomfortable, but I just really didn't feel like wearing my dentures today, and I wanted to get a video up because I do still want to continue making videos for my channel, but I don't want to be under the stress of trying to do one every day. But I also don't want to let like 4 or 5 days go in between making them. This is a notebook here that's full of ideals that I've thought of over the years for doing YouTube videos. And this is one that I've had in here for a while and just never did do, so I did it today. So thank you for coming to watch this video. Jade is up here with me, as you can see. Remember, y'all, life is short, so make it the very best you can. And y'all come back and see us now any old time. Bye for this one.